Hey, it's Biddy Penny. Welcome back to my channel. Let's play with some paper. So, I had a thought the other day that I would take all my brand new stamp sets that have not been stamped up and I would make myself some ephemera. Now, I want to warn you, as efficient as I feel this process is, it took me 3 hours. So, this would be a great thing if you have a chunk of time and you're not feeling creative or you just want to start using the stuff you're buying, then I think this is great. So it would be good to start with a juicy ink pad. Now I'll just show y'all how I'm re-inking this one real quick. But I actually don't end up using it. And I'm going to be completely candid and honest with you because that's just who I am. I threw this in the trash can. Guys, I struggled with it so much. I'll talk about it in a minute. So get your paper out and break out those stamps and put them on blocks if you want to use blocks, or put them in your stamp positioning tool. I'm going to show you a couple of different things. So I use this foam pad from Sizzix, and I love it because it is larger than my paper surface. So it's larger than 8.5 by 11. So I know I'm not going to get any weird creases. And I am going to bring in my VersaFine. I try that black, that extreme black, and I didn't realize I was struggling with that ink for as long as I was, but it just doesn't give me the results I want. And I dearly love My Favorite Things, and I have a lot of their inks. In fact, I'm going to show y'all because I feel bad saying this product's just not that good, but I've tried these other inks now and it's not. Now, I wanted a good hybrid ink, but that one's just not my favorite. Okay, but I wanted to show y'all, like, I seriously love their ink. So this one is great as a gold replacement. If you don't have a metallic gold ink, it's not metallic, but it has a nice, I always find that it gives me a nice golden look. Okay, so anyways, let's take a stamping hack here with a stamp positioning tool. So this is my favorite because it's hinged and you can stamp like 4 different stamp sets at once. But I want to show y'all how I stamp an entire stamp set at once. So I position the whole thing on the acetate that it comes stored in. Then I use my ATG gun, usually more efficiently than that, and I get a couple of strips of tape down so that I can stick it to the top of my positioning tool and stamp all of these at one time. This is a huge time saver. I love this hack. It totally works. If you know, some stamp sets are arranged differently than others, so sometimes some of them work better than others. I'm going to show y'all a hack too for sentiments, but this is like my favorite way to do this kind of process, and this way I can get everything stamped at once. Now I have a piece of felt. It's just this spare piece of felt that I'm using to rub across the surface. And what I like about this positioning tool, the Stamparatus, is how 2 sides are open, so my paper doesn't get creased awkwardly or anything. I just really, really like this positioning tool. All right, so, I'm trying to get the most of my paper here, and I've got now lots and lots of bunnies, and I needed them because my daughter wanted as many of these as I did. Here's the other great thing. You can clean all of it at one time. Instead of cleaning one stamp at a time, you just clean the whole stamp set. I love that hack, so I wanted to share it with you guys. Another great thing is that you can do bulk heat embossing. So I feel like heat embossing for me is a little fussy when I just do it one image at a time, but if I'm doing a whole stamp set, then this is a great way to do it. I can do a whole sheet, 8.5 by 11, then cut it with my brother's Scan and Cut, and I have a bunch of heat embossed images ready to go. you could definitely do this with sentiments as well. Now, one thing I want to show y'all is I have two different company stamps here. So if you were to do what I'm doing here, I really take my time making sure I get the impression that I want, because some might be a little thicker than others. Okay, I use a micron pill to fill in gaps. If you guys use a Brother Scan and Cut, then you probably know it doesn't like a lot of gaps. So I will go along and I'll look at everything, making sure I got good impressions and all the lines are sealed. I also bring in a pencil. And like for this stamp set, I'm just going to draw a square around all those sentiments right there. And that way it doesn't try to cut them all out. It only cuts out the square. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to draw pencil lines around all the teeny tiny little details. That way my machine isn't working overtime on the smallest little images that I'll probably lose. So I just draw circles around them. Even if there's not a group of them together, I'll just draw a slightly bigger circle. All right, here's where I'm going to have to fill this guy in with my pen. See, he's just not 100%. So I don't, the Scan and Cut has really good eyeballs, evidently, because it can always tell if there's a tiniest break in your stamped images. So then what I do is I pack everything up into one of my mushroom boxes. I take my stamp cleaning pad. I love that thing. That's from Stampin' Up! As well. And I take microfiber and my spray and I go to my machine and cut everything up. I sort it out, I put it in bags, and then I'll label it. I'll label that I stamped all this with VersaFine. That way when I go back to color it later on, I'll know don't use alcohol inks, use watercolor or water-based ink. So I usually just take these little baggies and I store them with the stamp set. But I wanted to show y'all this. If you had an old photo album, you could store your ephemera in there as well, and you could label it what company it was, all that kind of stuff. So you could store it like that. You can store it any way you want it. I just want to give y'all some ideas. This is how I do it, because I typically think of a stamp set, and I just like having my ephemera pieces tucked in there, ready to go. So yeah, it's a long process, but look at all this ephemera that I have now ready to go for card making. Of course, you're going to be seeing me make some cards with these stamp sets. I hope this process helps you in some way and that you really enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Bye.